Your life as every Naval SEAL rank. Level 1. The shore. The water is 53 degrees. You know this because someone told you. You don't feel temperature anymore, you feel pressure, weight, the specific agony of your body being wrung out like a wet rag for the 11th consecutive hour. Bud/S Hell Week is day 4. You've slept 40 minutes since Monday. The instructors are not yelling at you. That's the part nobody tells you. They're calm, clinical. They call you by your last name like it's a file number. You volunteered for this. That thought surfaces every few hours and you push it back down. Volunteering has nothing to do with where you are now. You're not a person here. You're a candidate. A number. A body that either quits or doesn't. The guy to your left rang the bell at 0300. Good guy. College swimmer. He just stopped. Set down his helmet, walked to the bell, and rang it 3 times. Clean. Final. He looked almost peaceful. You don't look at the bell anymore. You've decided the bell doesn't exist. Your team carries a log that weighs 200 pounds through sand that gives under every step. You don't think about the finish. You think about the next step. That's the only unit of time that matters now. Not tomorrow. Not graduation. The next step. That's how this starts. Not with glory. With your face in the sand, your lungs on fire, and a choice you keep making every 30 seconds. Level 2, the pipeline. You made it through Hell Week. You remember the exact moment it ended. An instructor walked out with orange juice and donuts and told you to sit down. You didn't believe him. You stood there, soaking wet at 0530, waiting for the catch. There wasn't one. Now you're in the pipeline. SQT. SEER training. Language courses. Free fall certifications. Takes about 2 years before anyone calls you a SEAL with a straight face. 2 years of being the new guy who doesn't speak unless spoken to and carries the gear and keeps his mouth shut. You learn things they don't teach in any classroom. How sound travels over water. What a body sounds like when it hits the ground from altitude. How to pick a lock in under 90 seconds. How to stay completely still for 4 hours in a hide site while your legs go numb and your brain negotiates with itself about whether this is worth it. It's worth it. You don't question that yet. Level 3. The Trident. The pin goes through the fabric and into your chest. That's the tradition. The guys press it in with their palms. It bleeds a little. You don't flinch. The Trident sits on your chest now, and it means you've crossed a line that most people don't know exists. You deploy within the year. Afghanistan, then Iraq, then somewhere that doesn't show up on your official record. You're on a team of 8 guys. You've spent more time with these men than with anyone else alive. You know how each one moves in the dark. You know who snores. You know who gets quiet before an operation and who gets loud. You complete your first direct action mission. It goes clean. You do what you trained to do and you come back and nobody talks about it at dinner. That's the part civilians get wrong. They expect some kind of reckoning. There isn't one. There's a debrief, a few hours of sleep, and another tasking on the board. The identity shift is quiet. You don't notice it happening. You just start measuring people differently. You stop having patience for certain conversations. You start to feel the distance. Level 4. The operator. 3 deployments in. You are very good at this. That's not ego, it's inventory. You know what you're capable of in specific conditions. You've been on 70+ operations. You've breached doors in 6 countries. You carry the weight of decisions that don't have clean answers and you've learned to set them somewhere you don't look too often. Your team trusts you completely. That trust is worth more than anything you've ever owned. It's the currency of this world. Not money, not rank, not medals. Whether the guy on your left believes you'll make the right call when it costs something. You get promoted. Lead petty officer. You're responsible now for the men below you. That changes the math. Your decisions don't just affect the mission. They affect whether someone's wife gets a phone call. You start sleeping differently. Level 5. The senior enlisted. You've been in 12 years. Most of your original team has separated, retired, or been medically discharged. You've been to more memorial services than you've attended birthday parties. That ratio no longer surprises you. You've accepted it the way you accept weather. As a chief, you run the team. The officers plan. You execute. That distinction matters more than most people realize. The officer tells you the objective. You figure out how to get there and back without losing anyone. Those are different jobs. You've watched good officers who didn't understand that distinction get people killed. You are the institutional memory of your platoon. The junior guys come to you for everything. How to handle a difficult officer. How to talk to a chaplain without it going on your record. How to call home when you have nothing left to say. You give them what you can. What you can't give them is the thing you've lost, the ability to fully come home. You sit at dinner tables and nod at conversations that feel like they're happening in a different language. You love your family. That's not the issue. The issue is that your nervous system has been rewired for a context that doesn't exist in suburban America. You don't talk about that. You carry it clean. Level 6. The Master Chief. 20 years. You are now a Master Chief Petty Officer. You walk into any room in the Naval Special Warfare Command and people adjust. Not because of fear, because of history. You have the institutional gravity of someone who has seen every version of this community, before the wars, during them, after them. Your job is no longer operational. You manage people, culture, standards. You sit in rooms with admirals and tell them things they need to hear and sometimes don't want to. That requires a different kind of courage than kicking in doors. Political courage is slower, costs more. You watch young SEALs and you see yourself 15 deployments ago, and you feel something that takes you a while to name. It isn't nostalgia. It's closer to grief. You know what's coming for them and they don't, and there's no way to prepare them that doesn't involve living it. The community has changed. Equipment, tactics, oversight. Some changes are improvements. Some aren't. You have opinions. You share some of them. You keep others in a drawer you don't open. Level 7. The Officer's World. You took a commission after 15 years. It happens. It's rare, but it happens. As a lieutenant commander, then commander, you operate at the intersection of the military and the political. You brief senators. You coordinate with CIA station chiefs. You make decisions about operations you'll never personally run, which is its own kind of burden. When it goes wrong, the distance doesn't protect you. It just gives you more time to sit with the outcome. You understand power now in a way that isn't abstract. Information is power. Access is power. The ability to pick up a phone and reach the right person at 2 a.m. is power. You've cultivated all three. You've also lost things. The intimacy of the team. The simplicity of a clear objective. Up here, nothing is clear. Everything is layered in classification levels and geopolitical calculus and career considerations that feel obscene compared to what your junior guys are dealing with downrange. You don't share that conflict with anyone. You've learned that the higher you go, the less honest the conversations get. Level 8. The Ghost. You don't have a title that means anything to civilians. You're a rear admiral now, or you were, before you stepped into a role that doesn't show up on any public organizational chart. You advise. You authorize. You're 3 phone calls away from decisions that alter governments. Your name appears in documents marked in ways most people in uniform will never see. You live quietly. House in a suburb. Dog. Reasonable car. Nothing that draws attention. The invisibility is intentional and it is permanent. You don't go to reunions. You remember what you were when you started, a candidate standing in 53-degree water making a 30-second decision. That person would not recognize you. That's not loss. It's just fact. The wait isn't what you'd expect. It's not dramatic. It's quiet. A kind of silence that sits in every room you enter. You made calls that cost people their lives, and those calls were correct, and you'd make them again, and you'll spend the rest of your life with them anyway. That's the math at this level. You accepted it, and you don't revisit the acceptance. You are the system now. Not inside it. You are it. Somewhere, a 22-year-old is standing on a beach in Coronado. His boots are full of sand. He hasn't slept. He doesn't know yet what he's capable of, the good and the other kind. He thinks he's starting a career. He's starting a transformation he'll spend the rest of his life trying to understand. You know where this goes. He doesn't. But he will.